Hey there, I'm Nadine, and since it's the start of a new season, I thought what better time to get myself some new books. So these are actually the books that I've kind of accumulated since the beginning of the year. I have some novels here, some manga, some graphic novels. So let's get right into it. The first book that I have here is The Atlas. I always have to check. The Atlas Complex by Olivia Blake. So this is the third book in the Atlas trilogy. The Atlas 6 was super popular like a few years ago, and this is the conclusion. I read the first two books. I really liked the first one. The second one, was starting to show some problems, but I still just want to know how the story ends. I want to know what happens to the characters. So I got this one, but to be honest, I'm not feeling super motivated to read this right now. I heard that it's not that great. So if you've read this, please let me know. Is it worth it? I am still curious. I do still want to pick this up, but not rushing to get to it either at the moment. The next book I actually found at a library sale at my local library, and that is The Diviners by Libor Bray. This was such a big favorite on BookTube. I don't even know, like 8 years ago, maybe longer. I don't know. And I've never read it, and it sounds so good. And I saw it for €1 at the library, so I thought I can't not get it. It's not the prettiest edition anymore, you can tell it's a used library book. But this one always sounded super interesting to me. It takes place in the 1920s. There's ghosts. It's kind of like a YA paranormal with some thriller aspects, which sounds really cool. And I've always heard just really good things about it. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that they didn't like it. I was kind of thinking when I saw this book too that it would be really fun to maybe do some sort of reading vlog with reading OG BookTube favorites. Let me know if you would like to see something like that, because I still haven't read things like Ready Player One. I just think that would be a really fun idea to just combine maybe 3 or so of those kinds of books that used to be super popular on BookTube and read them all in one video. So tell me in the comments down below if you'd be interested to watch something like that. I decided to resubscribe to Fairy Loot because I saw they have an adult fantasy subscription. So I got on the waiting list like in the summer of last year or something. This is the first book that I got with my new subscription. It's A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. I hadn't really heard much about this, but it does sound interesting. It's kind of about Viking mythology. It's an adult fantasy, I'd say definitely romantic-y leaning. The romance plot is definitely strong in this one. I've started this one already. I'm like almost halfway through, but I'd say it's like there's still enough other plot going on where I don't mind that it's more romantic-y leaning, if you know what I mean. But this edition is absolutely beautiful. We have those braids, stenciled edges, whatever they're called, the gold foiling, and the artwork on the inside is also just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I was recently in the mood to start this, and so far it's like a very easy read, and you'll hear more about this whenever I finish it. So the next one I wanted to read so badly. I don't know, I was just suddenly super in the mood for this book. It had been on my wish list for, I don't know, a couple months maybe. And then I saw it again and I was just suddenly feeling this urge, like I needed to have it. Um, and that is Welcome to the Hyeonnam-dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-rum. But yeah, it's Korean novel translated into English. Our main character did everything that you're kind of supposed to do. Go to university, get married, land a stable job, all of these things, but she's not really feeling very fulfilled with her life. So one day she decides to open a bookstore. And of course, as a reader, I love stories about bookstores. Unfortunately, the day this arrived and I like wanted to start reading it right away, one of my library holds got in, and then I was like, what am I going to do? I should probably read the one that, I can only read right now from the library first because it had like a months long waiting list. So I haven't actually started this one. But soon, I just feel like it's gonna be like the perfect cozy book to snuggle up with. And I mean, a book about books, a book about bookstore, you really can't go wrong. Just the vibes of this cover, it's just so beautiful. I just even want to like display this on my bookshelf. It's so cute. Like, look at the little dog. The last novel I got, I still actually haven't unpacked because I thought that would be fun to do together. I can tell you this much, it's a very beloved author in the fantasy genre. Try to guess. Try to guess who it could be. It's a female author who writes a lot of high fantasy, and she's especially known, actually I don't know if she's ever written anything else, but she's really known for this one really huge series, think series within series. And I've read the first trilogy in that series like years ago, absolute years ago. And I just didn't continue on. I just thought, okay, I'll take like a little break and then I continue. I just never did. And I feel like this spring, summer, it's time. So let's get into it. I got the pretty edition, in my opinion, anyways. Ooh, oh my gosh, it's a thick one. And that is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. And it's the first one in the second trilogy in the, what's it called? Rings of the Elderlings? That's not what it's called. Realm of the Elderlings? The rings. Yeah, no. Of the Realm of the Elderlings series. I read the first trilogy about Fitz and the Fool. I was still in my bachelor's degree, so like, I think it must have been like 2015. And that's just way too long. I heard so many good things about this like sub-series. It doesn't follow Fitz and the Fool, it follows other characters in a different part of the world. It's about trading families and these ships that are like semi-sentient, is that right? I'm not sure. And these live ships kind of get passed down in the family because they're very hard to come by. And there's also pirates, so it just feels like a perfect book kind of for the summertime. That's where I'm planning on reading it. It's gonna be a long one. And I did find the other books also relatively slow to read. Like I really did like them, but it's gonna be a project. How many pages does this one have? Oh no. Well, you know what? I mean, okay, it has like 880 pages, which is a lot, but I've read bigger books. I've read all of A Song of Ice and Fire. I can do this. It's fine. It's okay. And I am actually genuinely looking forward to finally continuing because I want to read all of the books in this series at some point. So that was it for all the novels. So now moving on to the manga and graphic novels. And this first one I kind of stumbled upon randomly while putting something else on my wish list. But it just sounded so interesting and kind of funny that I wanted to try it out. And that is Magical Girl Incident by Zeru Akabane. I'm probably not saying that correctly. Basically, this is about our main character who, as a child, always dreamed of being, kind of like a superhero. And now he just has this boring desk job until one day he saves a girl, I believe, from an accident, and he turns into a magical girl. And that just sounds like such a unique premise. And I love the magical girl genre, especially growing up. I watched a lot of magical girl anime. Not just Sailor Moon, but Kamikaze Kaitujan. Let me know if you know that one. That one's my personal favorite, probably. So we'll see when I get around to this one. I do think this is a series, but it's relatively new, so I'm not sure how many volumes there are going to be. But I think this will be just like such a great one to read in between longer fantasy books. And then I was mostly just trying to continue on with some series, making sure I have the next volumes on hand. So I got Spy Family Volume 6. I just finished Volume 5, so it's actually good timing that I have this one on hand. Spy Family, we know it, we love it. If you don't know it yet, check it out. It's about a spy who, for his next mission, needs a family to get closer to his target. And then I got lots of volumes of Yona of the Dawn. I got volumes 7, 8, 9, and 10. All of these and the last one I all got used. They had all of these in order. I just grabbed them while they're there used. With manga especially, I always try and get them used if I can, just because, you know, you read through these volumes so fast, it kind of hurts a little bit to pay full price for them. So yeah, now I have these in my collection for whenever I'm ready. I just know that I'm gonna love Yona, so I just wanted to stock up. And then the last one is a graphic novel. It's one in the Legend of Korra universe. And this one, from what I understand, are kind of like short stories within the Korra timeline and Avatar. I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I've been getting these comics whenever I kind of see them used, and I've read through all of the other Korra ones. I believe this was the last one from the ones that are out that I had to get. So it's an anthology. And yeah, I still haven't checked out the live TV show adaptation on Netflix because I'm scared. But whenever I do, I have this to bring me back to the original world. So remember, if you want more Avatar, there are the graphic novels and some of the ones in, you know, the timeline of our original Avatar team. In general, they tell some really good stories. So I do recommend these. Some of them are a bit more fillery, but some are really great. I expect this one will probably be more on the filler side, but we'll see, you know, there might be some really great stories in here. So that is everything I've bought kind of since the beginning of the year up until the beginning of spring. If you've read any of these, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear. And I wish you all a great reading springtime. Bye!